Hey there everybody, and welcome back to Woodlander Hobbies. A couple months ago, I made this mech from garbage. It was part of an art challenge that Boylei had made, and I was originally gonna do some terrain for this, but I just ran out of time. And Boylei's art challenge this month was frontier forts, and a mech looks kind of forty, so I guess that works. And ironically enough, I had built the door on this mech a little over 4 centimeters tall, which means this would fit perfectly in a Star Wars Legion game. So let's make a wargaming base for it. To start things off, I grabbed a chunk of styrofoam and carved it at an angle so it would blend into the table a little bit better. I wanted to be able to remove the mech from its base, so I cut some little holes to mount it into so I wouldn't have to glue it in. I tested it to make sure it was nice and snug. I wanted to have a little junk pile on the side of the terrain, so I brought out my assortment of junk. I have a lot. I knew for certain I wanted to have the remains of some sort of mech leg on the side, so I threw one together by using some acrylic pieces, a Play-Doh container, and a milk cap. Also some pen springs, the leg of a pizza hamster table. I have this piece, and I guess according to Studson and Scratch Bashing, it's called the bit. I had a cheap plastic ruler I could use. I have this piece from one of those Hubba Bubba bubble tape dispensers, which I am prematurely destroying with a pair of pliers. I'm also adding some junk on the back of it to give it some visual interest. I also use this piece of whatever it is. Glitter glue cap. Piece of random plastic. Flashlight gear. This pen tube makes a really cool sound. Yeah. And that's all the junk. I wanted to include this electric tea light candle LED, so I decided to make a campfire to go right underneath the mech. So I marked out a hole where I wanted the LED to be, and then started disguising the battery pack to look more like a piece of junk. I had this piece from a Star Wars Starship toy, and I thought it could be nice to go on the top. I then cut out another messy hole to put the battery pack in. I then tucked the wires into a little slot leading to the LED. Then I made another hole to house the LED and the extra wire, secured with hot glue. Then, just like on the mech, I added a bunch of rusty rhinestone rivets. Then it was time to add the plaster. I'm using Boylei Hobby Time's famous plaster, Mod Podge, and paint mix, added with a little bit of fine-grained sand into it as well, which was kind of a waste because I went and covered everything up with sand anyway. Then I took it outside and gave it a nice coat of black primer. I started with some sort of a brown terracotta for the base layer, and actually it's the whole layer of everything. Then I chose a few special junk pieces to add some gunmetal to. Other pieces got the bronze treatment, others got copper. Then all the junk got a light silver dry brush. No build is complete without a certain type of Vallejo color. I dry brushed it over all of the desert-y areas. I also added some coarse grain flocking to all the spots I thought would look like they need flocking. This color is burnt grass. Then I tied everything together with a light dusting from the airbrush. Then I added some patches of static grass. This is 4mm straw. And for the rocks around the campfire, I added some real rocks from the outside. And then I added some cotton on the LED and then painted it with some red and orange. I also added some firewood. These are just sticks from the outside. I also added some fine green flocking to the grass. I also added some famous Bill Macon stuff, rust spots. Then I put the mech on its base, and then the model was finished. Aw, man, it's over. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun making this one. I will probably put some campers underneath the mech at some point, so that'll be in a separate video. So, to be continued. Special thanks to Boylei Hobby Time for doing this art challenge again. This one was a fun one, and it was fun to revisit one of my old projects. Other than that, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you on the next video.